The sound of expensive leather shoes striking marble floors echoed through the vast corporate lobby. Morning sunlight spilled through the glass walls, dancing across polished surfaces and towering plants, but the warmth of the day couldn't thaw the ice in the voice that rang out. "You don't belong here." The words cut through the air like glass, cold and sharp, each syllable drenched in disdain. Conversations halted, heads turned, and the silence that followed felt like the world itself was holding its breath. A man in an immaculate navy suit, Alexander Royce, the young millionaire CEO of Royce Industries, stood rigid in the center of the lobby, glaring at the quiet, aging janitor holding a mop. The janitor's face was lined with years of fatigue and quiet suffering, his shoulders stooped, his work uniform faded. But when his eyes lifted, there was no shame, only a steady, quiet strength that came from somewhere deeper than pride. "I'm here for my daughter," he said softly, the words trembling at the edges yet burning with something unbreakable. It wasn't the answer anyone expected. The air seemed to change. Somewhere far above, the distant hum of the corporate world continued, but down here, in this moment, it was only him, the mop, and the truth that would soon unravel the walls around hearts that thought they were untouchable. Friends, before we go further, if you believe in kindness, in second chances, and in the power of love to change lives, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Ripple of Hope. Your support helps us tell stories that touch hearts and remind us of the good still left in the world. Jacob Turner had been a janitor for over a decade, but this building was different. The corporate tower was a world of wealth, ambition, and high-speed deals. He didn't belong in the eyes of people like Alexander Royce, and maybe, if you looked at his uniform and his calloused hands, they were right. But Jacob wasn't here for a paycheck alone. He was here because, 3 weeks ago, his daughter Lily had started her first internship in this very building. Lily was 19, bright-eyed, and full of dreams, the kind of young woman who believed that hard work and honesty could carve a path through even the toughest world. She was working in the marketing department on the 15th floor, a place of bright offices, sleek glass walls, and people who spoke in rapid bursts of ambition. She had no idea her father had taken a night janitor job here just to keep a quiet watch from the shadows. Life had not been gentle with Jacob. His wife passed away when Lily was only 7, leaving him both mother and father. He juggled 3 jobs to keep food on the table, often returning home when the sky was already paling with dawn. His hands told the story, scarred, weathered, marked by labor no one ever saw. Yet his heart never hardened, every sacrifice was softened by the thought of Lily's smile. She was his purpose, his reason to keep moving. But as the weeks went on, Jacob noticed something in Lily's eyes when she came home, something she tried to hide. A shadow of worry, the stiffness in her voice when talking about her boss, the way she avoided details about work. She brushed it off, claiming she was just adjusting. But Jacob's instincts told him something was wrong. He had spent a lifetime reading people, and he recognized the silent weight she carried. One night, while mopping near the glass elevators, Jacob overheard a conversation that turned his blood cold. 2 executives laughed as they spoke about the new intern upstairs, and how she won't last long under Royce's standards. It was the way they spoke about her, dismissive, condescending, that lit a slow, quiet fire in Jacob's chest. So when he found himself face to face with Alexander Royce that morning, it wasn't by accident. He had deliberately timed his cleaning route to cross the CEO's path, just to see the man Lily worked under. And now, after a careless bump of the mop bucket that splashed water near the polished tips of Royce's shoes, Jacob saw the man's temper ignite instantly. "Do you have any idea how much those shoes cost?" Royce snapped. The lobby staff froze. The security guard shifted uncomfortably. Jacob said nothing at first. He'd been spoken to like that before by men who thought money was a crown. But then Royce's voice grew sharper, his words louder, his eyes cold as ice. "You don't belong here." Jacob straightened, his hand tightening on the mop handle. "I'm here for my daughter," he replied, the weight of years behind every syllable. And for a moment, Royce's brow furrowed, not in understanding, but in irritation. Over the next few days, whispers spread. People began asking why the quiet janitor had spoken to the CEO like that. Some laughed at the audacity, others admired it in secret. But Jacob wasn't thinking about pride or rebellion, he was thinking about Lily. What Jacob didn't know was that Alexander Royce had his own ghosts. He had been raised in privilege, but it came at the cost of warmth. His father was a ruthless businessman who taught him that empathy was weakness. Every decision Alexander made was calculated, every relationship transactional. Seeing Jacob stand in the lobby with unshaken eyes planted a splinter in his mind that he couldn't shake. It all came to a breaking point 2 weeks later. Jacob was cleaning the 15th floor hallway late at night when he heard muffled crying from the break room. Pushing the door open slightly, he saw Lily sitting alone, head in her hands. Across from her lay a file of rejected proposals she had worked on for days. She didn't see her father standing there, she was too lost in her disappointment. Jacob stepped in quietly, pulled out a chair, and sat beside her. He didn't scold, didn't lecture. He just listened as she finally let the truth out, about the impossible expectations, the way Royce never looked at her work, the dismissive comments, and how she felt invisible. That night, Jacob made a silent vow, his daughter would never feel unseen again. The next morning, in a rare move, Jacob asked for a meeting with the CEO. Royce agreed, more out of curiosity than respect. When Jacob walked into that glass-walled office, the sunlight behind him cast his silhouette long across the polished floor. He didn't bring accusations or threats, he brought a story. He told Royce about Lily, about losing his wife, about the years of working in the dark so she could have a chance at the light. At first, Royce tried to mask his reaction with polite indifference, but something in Jacob's voice, the unwavering sincerity, hit him harder than he expected. This wasn't a man seeking pity, this was a father demanding dignity for his child. In the weeks that followed, things began to shift quietly. Royce started reviewing Lily's work personally. He began offering constructive feedback instead of curt dismissals. Lily blossomed under the recognition, her ideas gaining traction, her confidence returning. She never knew the full conversation her father had with the CEO, but she noticed the change. Months later, at the company's annual event, Lily's campaign project was announced as the winner of the Innovators Award. As she walked onto the stage, she caught sight of her father standing at the back of the room in his janitor's uniform, clapping with quiet pride. She didn't know it yet, but in that moment, Royce's eyes lingered on Jacob longer than anyone else's, no longer seeing a man who didn't belong, but a man who had taught him something he'd never learned in all his years of wealth. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to Ripple of Hope. And if you believe love can change even the coldest hearts, let us know by leaving a comment. Your words matter more than you know. Special request, in the comments, write one sentence about the person in your life who inspires you the most. Your story might be the hope someone else needs today.